Dad ended up having loads and loads of bladder infections where he couldn't even hold his bladder at 68-year-old. My dad was a very proud man and didn't want to listen to me. I tried to, make him take natural things but he just didn't want to know. Kept listening to his doctors, taking more pills. All I could see was my dad was going further downhill. Now this is a big strong man, 68, always worked all his life. Basically, he ended up with cancer 3 times, survived his cancer, ended up with stoma, getting blood stroke. He still survived all that and got through it. He didn't want to listen to me. As far as he was concerned, I was a huge conspiracy theorist that said, no, I've got to have these, I've got to stay with people. He went on to having more and more bladder infections and kept stumbling all over the place. He was caring for my mum with COPD, so he did everything. He was, the cook, the bottle washer, everything. He was early retired himself due to back problems and stuff. And he just wanted to enjoy his life. But basically, within months, I just seen him just rapidly just going downhill. Mum started to lose loads of weight. I mean, she was ill already with COPD. She didn't need to have these jabs because she was confined to the house anyway. She went from a good 14 stone down to 4 stone within 4 months. But then one morning, my mum rang me. And it was devastating. I couldn't even get dressed that quick, but I got up to the house and my dad was stumbling all over the house. He was confused, he didn't know what was going on, he couldn't speak to me, he couldn't even move physically his body. I got him in his chair, sat him down, and I just said to him, Dad, put your arms in front of you please, and he couldn't even do that, so I literally had to pick both his arms up to put them in front of him. And all the left side of his body was shaking totally out of control, so I just got on 3 nights and went to the hospital. I didn't hear, this was 9:30 in the morning, I didn't hear from the hospital till 11. They kept telling me they had no more news and Dad had slowly gone into a coma. So obviously I didn't know what was going on, I was out of my mind. Mum needed caring for because she couldn't even get to the toilet on her own. So basically me and my brother were hands on, got to the hospital eventually at 11:30 that night to be told that my dad wouldn't last the night out. Well luckily he did last the night and he was having seizures after seizures. He wasn't awake, he was in a coma due to his own self, they didn't put him in one. And then basically I sat next to his bedside every single day while he was having these seizures. After 7 days he came around. He looked at me and looked totally away from me. He couldn't move his body physically. Only thing he could move were his fingers and his eyes. And basically he was just like a shell of my dad. And it was absolutely devastating. After the 7 days, the neuro doctor came in to see me, but she shut the door behind her. And she said your dad has a vaccine injury to his brain. He's had a major bleed. And it is due to the vaccine, and I've reported it for you. So I just wrote down crying because I knew it was a vaccine anyway, but I wasn't 100%. But she just confirmed that for me. So then went on day after day, being told he's got this problem and that problem, and he'd never know who I was ever again. He'd never know anybody. And he was basically, they just left him. They didn't do anything with him. And he was in that state for 6 whole months, just wasting away in a hospital bed. He didn't even have a window in his room. He was transferred to another hospital where basically it was just a gold. They didn't even put the radio up for him. So every day I came and played Motown to him every single day and cried my heart out to him. But I was given 1 hour a day with him. 1 hour a day to see my dad just die in front of me. And then I had Mum at home who was just deteriorating as well. She ended up losing the use of both her legs. And my brother ended up getting sacked from his job because he held his hair close. I'm also got a disabled child at home, but I have to give my time up to both my parents. And if I could say that before, I had to box him in the house and not let him go anywhere to have their jobs. And now he's just deteriorated our family totally because all we had was my mum and dad. And then come round to June, Mum was admitted to hospital. And we was devastated that she went in hospital looking absolutely fine apart from the COPD. 2 days later Mum was dead. Then I had trying to get my head around the fact I've just lost my mum and now I've just got my dad left, I don't even know him anymore. When I went to the hospital to tell Dad that my mum had died, they'd been together 50 years, they were best mates, they never went anywhere without each other. My dad started to cry. These people told me my dad was brain dead. Why did he cry? Why did he have tears? If he was brain dead, he must have had tears of feelings. So they just basically left my dad to deteriorate, no rehabilitation. Then then they tried to tell me, because my mum had died, they said, your dad won't be long. That's what they said to me. And then basically they tried to tell me that I had to put him in a care home. My dad's 68-year-old, he's a big, bloody, strong man. I didn't want him in no care home. That was a place for someone in their 80s, you know, not a 68-year-old. Basically, we've got the family together. I've got two girls, one at uni. I got the girls together and said, look, we need to spend as much time with Brandon in the hospital bed as we can. And it just broke my girl. Absolutely broken because Brandon was their best friend. He was a proper decent man that baked and cooked and took the girls out, did everything with them. So you can imagine it absolutely broke our family apart. Then it came up to, we hit July, and we didn't want to prepare for no funeral for Mum. We just wanted to wait to see what happened with my dad. These two have been like soulmates all their life since they were 17. Then they ran me from the hospital one day to tell me to come in, and Dad wouldn't have long to live. And within 24 hours, my dad was dead. And then, obviously, then where do you go from there? I've just lost two parents within 4 weeks exactly of each other at 68-year-old. So eventually, I got arranged a funeral so they could have it together. So we had a funeral together. And the only best thing I can say that came out of this was the funeral home only charged me for one funeral. And that was the best thing I can say. Apart from that now, I've had to struggle on now myself without my parents by my side. And I just wish that they listened to me. I really do. Okay guys,
awesome.
Thank you for listening. Hospital. I was in hospital for 4 days. And after the 4 days, they diagnosed me with pneumonia. During my time in hospital, on my last day, all of a sudden I was moved from a normal ward where I was breathing fine, I didn't need any respiratory help, I needed nothing, basically to a COVID ward. I asked why I'd been put on a COVID ward. Nobody wanted to give me any answers. I asked if I had COVID and I didn't. It was the most scariest thing I've ever seen, is being wheeled into a room where there's other people, and I don't know what they're called, but the head masks on, that looked like they were basically close to death. I got asked to be wheeled out of the room. They basically said I had to stay there. So at that stage, I went and I barricaded myself in a storeroom, surrounded by beds and tables and everything, because there's no way with pneumonia I needed to go into a ward with COVID patients. The government told us, you know, people with asthma to shield and keep away from people. So why with pneumonia did they want to put me on a COVID ward when I didn't have COVID? I believe there's only one reason why I was put there. That's up to you to make that decision. Most logical people would understand, no matter what you think that these guys are trying to do, and by the way, this is the first time I've ever talked in public about this. No matter what you believe, any normal person out there must think that that's just not right. Sorry. Thank you. Then basically, I went and had the second vaccine. I spoke to the doctor who was there that particular day, and asked them whether or not the pneumonia would have been a byproduct of having the first AstraZeneca. He said, no, after 4 weeks, it definitely can't be, you know, that at all, everything's fine, it's not a problem. So obviously I proceeded to have another vaccine. 2 days later I didn't feel very well, I felt poorly, I went to the doctors, who basically sort of just dismissed me, sent me away, just saying I had just got a cold or something. Basically then 3 weeks later I went to hospital and I've had a blood clot on my lung. At that stage they said I had a 20% chance of dying, so I needed to take medication to make sure that the blood clot reduced, and it literally didn't kill me. At that stage I did have to start a new job, so I battled through, and I obviously with the blood clot taking the medication. All I kept on being told is that I must have had COVID. I'd never had COVID. At that stage in my job I had to have tests every single day to make sure that I was protecting other people. Since then I've had difficulty sort of breathing every day. Everyone said is a different day. Today's a good day. Some days I'm just in bed all the time. I get tight chested. I wake up on a night gasping like it's my last gasp of air. With that, I'm sometimes sick and I actually choke on my own vomit. Luckily my partner's there. He helped me a lot. I've had lung tests where I've got no issues with my lungs. Then later on down the process in February of 22, they told me I've got a growth on my heart. They told me not to worry about this growth on my heart. Everybody's got a growth on the heart, which obviously I don't feel that's sort of the truth really. So from there, again, sorry. On a night, I get a maximum amount of sleep in a 1 or about an hour. I wake up about 15, 20 times every night, coughing, gasping, and not breathing. And this has been ongoing now for 15 months. Can you imagine not sleeping every night for 15 months? It's just not good on your body. So now things have sort of progressed over this length of time. Not only has the coughing got worse, the gasping got worse, it's now gone into my muscle. So I ache, I have pain, basically from the jaw to the bottom of the feet. I spasm like I'm getting nerves. To put any name to anything for what's going on and what's happening out there. Obviously I've got the muscle issues, neurology have declined to see me. They don't want to see me put a name to anything. Last October I got fired from my job because I was unable to do the job anymore. Obviously personally I've had to move to a smaller house, therefore my oldest daughter has had to move to her granddad's home. So our family has all been broken up because we can't support where we live anymore. It's not just about the money with that, it's about the fact that my partner works full time, and again the lack of benefits or support or help with welfare or cleaning or anything. My partner's great, he looks after me, but he works, he does the cooking and the cleaning. You know, we have a 6-year-old as well. But we're supposed to have 50% of the time, but we can't anymore. There's no seaside walks anymore, there's no taking the dog out. I can't plan to go anywhere unless somebody brings me, because if I need to get home quickly, it's just so difficult. I think that's it from me. So I just want everybody to really think, please, whether or not you believe that it was going to be right or not. I believe the same, and it has really affected my whole life. In one way, there are a lot of people worse than me. So I just want to spread the word, so please think about, sort of, if you ever want anything else, don't do it and be like me. It has completely wrecked my life. Thank you.
Doing that. We do know that there are a lot of other people that are injured. So anyone else who knows of injured cases or people who are deceased, friends or family, please try and bring those people forward. So now I think we're going to have another speech by Ahmed. Do you want to talk? Let's give it up for Ahmed.
What I want to start off with, can you hear me by the way, yeah? What I want to start off with is the grassroots movement which has kept itself humble. What I mean by that is, in the past 3 years, when we've tried to raise awareness of the sad circumstances of what these ladies have been saying, is people have been going for fame, money, and one of the groups which has kept itself humble is Manchester. So big round of applause, guys. What I want to say is, these two victims of the COVID-19 hoax pandemic is the downfall of society in terms of what they are having to rely upon in terms of the state. As that woman has just said, she's lost her job. She's had to downsize her house, and subsequently she's, losing family. We did what we could in terms of, sorry, I've lost my voice over the past week, so you'll have to bear with me, but what I'm saying is, we've done all we can. Yellow boards, outreach, we continue doing it. We've got to continue doing it. Some of our group, where I am, unfortunately, we've come back to normality as such, but we've got to continue, and it is refreshing to see many familiar faces here today to stand by side and to continue raising the awareness, because there are many people, as we all have said, there are people who are still dismissive of the situation of what we were trying to raise awareness of in the first place. What I want to move on to is the cost of living. So the cost of living started off, if you remember, in terms of Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine and Russia. Your energy bills has gone through the roof, but yet the government say they don't have the money, but yet they can spend millions of pounds to arm Ukraine with arms and other battalion from the Ministry of Defence to say that protect your borders and protect yourselves. What I call this is mass formation psychosis, because many people have been in solidarity with Ukraine. People need to wake up to understand what is really going on. You really need to understand what is really going on. There are people speaking up, there are politicians speaking up with regards to the agenda, the New World Order. The New World Order is all about control. This is about control. Digital currency, thank you sir, your electricity, everything that they are trying to do is about subservience. My health is important to me. Your health is important to you. Everybody's health is important to everybody. The only thing they managed to get control of is your health. And how did they do that? Globally. Not just in Manchester, not in Rochdale, not in Stockport. Around the world. Everything was locked down. This square was locked down. These offices were locked down. I was working from home. I'm sure many of you were working from home. That is control. How can they push to control the people? And they did that through a health pandemic. It was a plan. People need to wake up to understand exactly what is going on. Exactly what is going on. And this isn't just some gimmick. These aren't just some people who have been injured. You've had 2 people there who've lost people. These are real people. These are people that we've been trying to save. And yet people still call us conspiracy theories. This is not conspiracy. This is the truth. And people need to wake up to understand what is exactly going on here. So as I say, cost of living, your electricity prices are going high, your council tax. I want to give you a personal story here, where I did a freedom of information request to my local authority, because you'd expect your local authority to be transparent with regards to exactly what they spend their money on, the revenue and everything else. Would you agree? My local authority came back to say, listen to their response. Their response last week was that they do not have a separate account or accountability to how the council tax money is spent. Now remember, the government have given a maximum threshold of council tax to be increased by 4.99%. It is our money, it is your equity, it is your sweat equity, it is your hard-earned money that is paid towards public services. Public services which they are pushing the COVID-19 jab. The narrative, where's the lady where she says wear your mask, muck your fast, fuck your mask basically. People who still wear a mask need to understand it is a piece of cloth. That's all it is. If you go into a medical practitioner surgery hospital, look at the bottom of the box. The bottom of the box, at the side of the box will say that it is for surgical settings. The surgeons wear them for 30 minutes and then they take them off. So going back to the cost of living, you know, we expect the accountability to be there from our council, from our politicians, from people in public service, but these people are brazen, and my engagement with the local authority, particularly personally, has been absolutely, I don't know what to say, I'll probably swear at them to be honest, but you can imagine what I'm going to say. But, you know, I want to kind of end with this. As I said, the past 3 years, it's all about control. There's Agenda 2030, and Agenda 2030 is all about control. 2020 was about control. 2021 was about control. It's still controlling you. And they're going to control you through digital currency. People who invest in Bitcoin, you better be careful. Your best investment is gold and silver. You know, the thing is, you know, I'm going to admit it. You know, I've got a bank card. Everyone's got a bank card. I'm sure everybody's got a bank card. But we've got to try and use cash where possible. We have to try and keep cash alive. And remember, cash is only a promissory note. It's a promise to pay. Read the writing on your currency. It's not just in British sterling. It's on the euro, on the dollar, and every other currency. This is all the Zionist banking system. It is about control. We are the 99%. The 1% stay rich at the top. That is capitalism. Capitalism. This is the cost of living. They be richer. They stay richer. Listen, mate, you need to try harder than that.
Who was it? You know, did it?
It doesn't matter. We've had worse when we've been on the roundabouts. We've had water thrown at us and all sorts, so it doesn't matter.
We're with you.
So the thing is one final thing. The government, 2 weeks ago, passed through the protest bill. Please listen to this, very important. The protest bill. We've been protesting here in the square, and we've been walking around the city centre. In Blackburn, we've been doing it. Across the country, people have been taking to the streets, you know. But now, the government, through authoritarianism, and the Conservative government have pushed through the bill and basically making our lives harder. So in other words, they only need a shred of doubt to think there's going to be a potential of some sort of violence or some other, and they can go in hard. So my request and my plea to everybody is we are peaceful, we do what's right, we take out any shills or anybody, and we do the right thing for the people, because this agenda is going to continue, and we've got to stand in solidarity with people who are vaccine injured, and we've got to continue raising the awareness. So thank you very much for letting me speak.
While them vaccine injured people have just been talking, at least 9 people have stopped and give their story about their family and collapsed lungs and like God knows what. And then about that guy then throwing the water against us, right? Right from the beginning, we knew it was nothing to do with the jab. It's all about the restrictions that they're taking away from you. So if everyone goes home and Googles the Coronavirus Act 2020 has expired, they use that act to lock you at home. They use the emergency restrictions to keep you indoors. Then it expired because everyone got better. But they didn't, did they? They died. So we used them to stop the public a second longer so they see what was the true fact, which is the restrictions. Yeah? The government have kept the emergency restrictions. They've kept some of them restrictions from the Coronavirus Act so they can usher in the next phase. So go home, 20-minute neighbourhoods, Manchester, put any city you want and you'll see what's coming next. So the digital ID, you know, all your track and trace through your apps and all that injection stuff, all that's leading to the digital ID. Everyone goes home again and puts in the UK government, you know, cryptocurrency nonsense, yeah? You'll see what the government are doing. 20-minute neighbourhoods, Manchester, and you'll see what's coming for any city afterwards. Put UK government, CBDC, and you'll see the digital ID that they're trying to turn us all into. So back to the guy with the water, unjabbed or jabbed, we've all been lied to, yeah? That guy that threw the water, yeah, he's going to lose the same rights that I'm going to lose, yeah? So all the people that don't agree with us, it's your rights too. Not just our rights, we just knew from the beginning. And you think we're mad because we've got all these dead people here. We're not bothered about these. We just use these to stop you, the public, a second longer, so you go, flipping heck, don't we? There's a coincidence. And look what happened. Now you've got the government admitting fault and giving out a compensation because it was safe. Was we right in the beginning or was we wrong? We was right. Anyway, we're going to go for a march now.